Welcome to 113 Tiffin Street. It's a really exciting day today because this is a project that's been being envisioned and in the works for almost a year now. You're sitting right now in what used to be our former ambulance bay as one of our EMS stations, and we had an opportunity from the Social and Services Division to take over the property and start to redesign it in a multi-purpose facility that would address some of the homeless services that were needed in this area. And you're going to hear about how this space and the space next door are coming together to serve a population of individuals who are incredibly vulnerable in a unique and different way with a focus on housing. Before we get started into some of the different members here that will speak and share a little bit about this project, I did want to flag that this is part of our 10-point strategy here at the County of Simcoe that we passed earlier, later in 2025. And this is our strategy on how do we prevent homelessness here in the city of Barrie and all across the county. And it focuses on ideas and on how we can take different approaches to addressing the vulnerability and the unique needs of each individual that's experiencing homelessness here at the county. And one of those points on the plan was to try to use space in a different way. So you'll see a combination of repurposing space that existed and then adding modular space in a time-efficient way in order to address a need. Our strategy focuses on evidence-based solutions, and this was part of our open data strategy where we were measuring the need, the level of capacity, and the effectiveness of the service. And if you go to open.simcoe.ca, you can see some of that night-overnight service needs and how they change. You can see the month-over-month services and outcomes, and then our annual kind of demographic analysis of how we try to serve as the demographics and the needs often change in this sector. Because our primary goal in our strategy is to house people, it only made sense that we start to focus on how do we partner with different levels of and orders of government, with our separated cities at City of Barrie and City of Aurelia, with our members of county council, our member municipalities, as well as our provincial and federal partners. And today you'll hear a little bit from our federal partnership that's going to allow this program to flourish for the next 12 months and be able to study and evaluate its effectiveness of how to bring people who are staying outside, primarily unhoused, primarily unsheltered, and bring them into a housing-based facility with a focus on rapidly bridging them from homelessness into housing. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker. So MP Jennifer McKelvey is the Parliamentary Secretary for the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure, who will speak about the federal government's support for this project through the Homelessness Reduction Innovation Fund and the federal government's investment in homelessness. So I'll ask her to come up on stage, and we were just chatting a little bit about our time in Toronto and some of the challenges you can have with this file, so I'm sure she comes with some personal experience on this as well. So please come.
Well, thank you so very much for the kind introduction and for being a problem solver. And certainly you helped solve many problems in the City of Toronto, and I'm glad you're doing that up here as well. It was wonderful that we started today with a land acknowledgement that recognizes the enduring relationships with this land and commits ourselves to ongoing work of reconciliation. So thank you for starting us in a good way. I am so pleased to join you today with so many incredible municipal leaders that really care about our most vulnerable. And I know that Warden Clark of Simcoe County will give you all their names. I don't want to miss them all, but I will point out it is nice to see two colleagues here that I've worked with in the past, Mayor Nuttall, who I've had the pleasure of working with the Ontario Big City Mayors with, and Deputy Mayor Smith, who I've had the honor of working with FCM. So I know that you're all working hard here in your community, but also for Ontario and for all of Canada, so thank you for that. I am so pleased to join you today as we highlight an important milestone in our shared work to end homelessness in Canada. On behalf of the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, I want to begin by acknowledging the extraordinary leadership of the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness. Your commitment, expertise, and persistence continue to shape national progress towards a future where every person in Canada has a safe, dignified, and affordable place to call home. Today, we're here to celebrate exactly that kind of progress that becomes possible when government, community organizations, and housing partners work together. Through the Homelessness Reduction Innovation Fund, our government is investing in new, practical, data-driven solutions that help communities reduce homelessness. This $50 million fund, which is part of our $5 billion commitment to Reaching Home, Canada's homelessness strategy over 9 years, is specifically designed to support innovation on the ground where we all know it's needed the most. One of the standout projects from the second round of HRIF funding is right here in Barrie, a $1.6 million federal investment supporting the Alliance in the development of supportive housing right here at 113 Tiffin Street. This project represents the best of what this fund is created to do, to empower communities to implement evidence-based, targeted interventions that meet people where they are and provides them with the housing and support they need to rebuild their lives. This is more than just a building. It's a thoughtful, community-driven solution that blends traditional, transitional, and supportive housing and leverages the local expertise and national leadership that CAEH, the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, is known for. Projects like this are how we start to reverse the troubling rise in homelessness across the country by pairing data-driven approaches with compassion, community, and urgency. These investments will complement the major housing initiatives our government is advancing nationwide. Through Build Canada Homes, we are scaling up the construction of deeply affordable and supportive housing and partnering with provinces, territories, and municipalities, as well as Indigenous communities and the nonprofit sector to deliver results faster and more effectively. This includes expanding community housing, strengthening supports for vulnerable Canadians, and helping ensure people not only secure housing, but stay housed. And we know supportive housing matters. It keeps people safe, it stabilizes lives, it gives people the foundation to access healthcare, reconnect with family, pursue education or employment, and move forward with dignity. The project here at 113 Tiffin Street reflects the kind of comprehensive wraparound approach that has proven successful in many communities across Canada, including the CAEH's Built for Zero sites, some of which have already achieved functional zero veteran homelessness. But we also know there's a great deal of work ahead. Homelessness has grown more complex, more visible, and more urgent. Community organizations are stretched thin. Frontline workers face burnout, and far too many Canadians are still living without stable housing or are at risk of losing it. That's why our government remains committed to bold, coordinated action, working shoulder to shoulder with partners like the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness to strengthen data systems, build local capacity, and create supportive and transitional housing Canadians need right now. The Homelessness Reduction Innovation Fund is only one tool in a much broader effort to build more homes, improve affordability, and ensure that most vulnerable are not left without support. And so today is not just an announcement, it's a reaffirmation of our shared mission. We know ending homelessness is possible. We see examples across the country where the right data, the right partnerships, and the right investments are making real, measurable change. And with projects like 113 Tiffin Street, we are taking another meaningful step forward. Thank you to everyone here that brought this project to life, the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, the City of Barrie, local partnerships, the region, and all the dedicated teams who never stop fighting for a Canada where everyone has a place to call home. Our government is proud to support this work, and we will continue to stand with you, invest alongside with you, and learn from you as we build a more compassionate, more resilient, and more equitable housing system for all. And with that, I am very delighted to pass it off to Warden Clark of Simcoe County, who will share remarks and also hopefully give all those important other people in the room's names that I did not have with me.
Thank you, Minister. And yes, we do have some folks here with me today. I'm never alone. I've got our Chair of Human Services and Mayor of Clearview, Doug Measures, is here. the Deputy Mayor Paul Van Staveren of Clearview. Barrie Norris, Deputy Mayor of Tay Township, is here. Mike Smith, the Deputy Mayor of Essa, and Randy Greenlaw, the Mayor of Oromodonti. And I don't see any more. And of course, Mayor Nuttall, and you can introduce your team when you come up here shortly after myself. Listen, this is an exciting day. This is the largest modular facility in county's history to serve up to 40 people. But I need to stress, it's not about the 40 people at any given time. It's 40 people as we move them through the system, get them off the streets, get them out of shelters, give them that hand up on society, give them back that hope and confidence that they've lost, and then move them on to permanent housing, hopefully with gainful employment, maybe some not, but at least on to permanent housing. So that 40 will turn into 400, and then eventually 4,000. And wouldn't the dream be nice after that 0? Because our goal is not to build more shelters, not to build more of these facilities. It's to get people off the street and get them back into their lives and get those numbers down. And with so many partners that have come to table on this one, we have a very similar program to this now, the Rapid Rehousing in Collingwood, that at this date has served 38 folks that we've moved through that system into permanent housing. 38 less people on the streets as we move them into permanent housing. You've heard Mina say that the goal is to have every individual, unfortunately, that have hit in tough times in their life to be able to turn around their lives and gain back that confidence and bridge them into sustainability. And I know this is important to our great partner, the City of Barrie, and Mayor Nuttall. I know this is one of your biggest projects that you've had your eyes on, the homeless. None of us want to see that growing, so I want to always thank the City of Barrie for partnering with us, as well, of course, as the Canadian Alliance to End Homeless, just an outstanding group that has come together on a partnership to help us and carry on these projects. What's taking place here is transferable to other places in the country. So, you know, we see if it works in one area, you can set it up in another, and that's why we value so much the modular units, because you can move them where the demand is and carry on until, hopefully, as I said earlier, the demand is no longer there. I want to thank our partners, Parliamentary Secretary Jennifer McKelvey, for being here today. I know it's a bit of a drive, and for all of your support is just outstanding. And as I turn it over now to the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, Tim Richter, if you would like to come up and say a few words, and thank you.
Thank you, Warden. Thank you, Parliamentary Secretary, and thanks for having me up to Barrie so I get to experience what a proper Canadian winter looks like. I'm in from Calgary, where it was like 15 degrees yesterday. It's a bit ridiculous. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here to help launch the Bridge to Stability program in partnership with Simcoe County. So, as the PS mentioned, the Homelessness Reduction Innovation Fund is a $50 million federal investment through the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness that's going directly into communities like Barrie and Simcoe to support locally designed innovations and approaches that will achieve measurable reductions in homelessness. And that's something that makes this really different, that this will achieve a measurable reduction in homelessness. We announced the first set of recipients, so the first of 5 rounds of funding we announced back in October, and I'm now proud to join you to have Simcoe County as our first recipient across Canada in the second round of funding. And it's for a project that I expect, in fact, I know, will significantly reduce unsheltered homelessness in Barrie and across Simcoe County. And more importantly, it's going to help communities around the country. Barrie is not alone. Simcoe County is not alone in what you're experiencing in homelessness. We've seen from federal data that homelessness in Canada has nearly doubled since 2018. Unsheltered homelessness is up over 300%. And to put that into context, if you think about, the largest natural disasters in Canadian history, the number of people experiencing homelessness in Canada far eclipses the worst of our natural disasters. Just to put that into context. But we know what solves it. And what's really cool about what's happening in Simcoe is that you know what solves it as well, and that's housing. People need safe and affordable housing and the support they need to begin their recovery. We've been working with Simcoe County now since 2015, and Simcoe has long been a leader and innovator in preventing and reducing homelessness. And what's really cool about this project, and Jennifer alluded to this earlier, is that what makes this project so unique is how the community has come together, right? You have the County of Simcoe, you have the City of Barrie, you have a collaboration of frontline organizations and the Community Advisory Board, you have the federal government, provincial government support, as well as support from the private sector, all coming together toward a common goal of reducing unsheltered homelessness. Now, in my role, that's how you get things done. That's the thing that makes the difference. And when I look around the world, I've studied homeless systems all over the place, right? And we all know there's programs that work, like what we're going to see here today. There's funding that's needed, all of those things. But what makes the difference in a place that makes progress in ending homelessness and the cities that don't is leadership. And what is happening here in Simcoe with the city and the county and the province and the feds and the community coming together, that's how you achieve that real change. So we're really proud to partner with all of you and provide a $1.7 million grant for the Homelessness Reduction Innovation Fund to operate this Bridge to Stability program. This bridge housing program is going to prioritize those folks with the most complex needs, people who have been living for a long time outside in a tent or an encampment. It'll give them a safe and warm place to live with a consistent meal and easy access to mental and physical health care. But at the same time, participants are going to receive focused and individualized support to move them into permanent housing quickly. We expect this will reduce unsheltered homelessness in Barrie and across Simcoe County by about 20% in the next 12 months. And if you put this program together with all the other great work that Simcoe and Barrie are doing, the investments in housing that Barrie and Simcoe are making, I think you're going to see a real, visible, tangible difference in homelessness in this community very, very quickly. But the impact of this program is going to go far beyond the borders of Simcoe County. The Bridge to Stability program is an innovation, it's a pilot project, right? The lessons from this project we're going to be taking and sharing and hopefully scaling across Canada nationally. Other communities are going to be looking at Simcoe, looking at Barrie for the path to reducing and ultimately ending unsheltered homelessness. And we're going to be along for the ride with you. We're going to be providing one-on-one coaching and support to the county, helping the project learn and improve, supporting training and support of the workers that'll be doing the work, and documenting and sharing your success. So thank you to Simcoe, to Barrie, to the province, the federal government, frontline organizations. This project is going to have a real and positive impact in Barrie, here in Simcoe, and most importantly for the people that are going to move through here and into permanent housing. And with that, I'd like to invite Mayor Nuttall to say a few words.
Well, thank you, and today is a very exciting day. There's a few things I wanted to communicate and a lot of thank yous to say. But before I do, I want Parliamentary Secretary McKelvey to know, in Barrie, and I think I can say this for the county as well, if there's anything that we can do to be part of Team Canada and the Team Canada approach, just call, because I'm very proud of the direction that we're going right now. And we want to make sure that we're there on the ground providing support for that direction. You know, this is a really important day. And it's an important day that a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into, no one more than our friends at the County of Simcoe. In September, declared a state of emergency alongside our City Council. And there's been a lot that's been done since then. And it's not done by myself or the warden. We don't do the work. It is done by the people who are on the street, people who are doing the organization inside of the departments, and getting to here is a big deal. But this isn't alone in terms of the 40 beds that are going to be operating here. That will, help many, many, many more people than that, to the warden's point, get stability to move forward. What we've seen in the city of Barrie since we've declared the state of emergency is the county has stepped up to make sure that there is housing for individuals who have been in encampments, that there's housing for individuals and families that have gotten into very difficult and precarious situations for a million different reasons. And through that, we've seen the work done by the Simcoe County Home Builders Association to get a new youth haven facility for youth experiencing homelessness. We've seen investments by the province with the County of Simcoe to deliver in terms of the Heart Hub, actually getting rehabilitative help. And now here's another piece. But to the warden's point, it's not about the bed here. It's about the eventual outcomes of moving from, maybe it's addictions related, maybe it's strictly financial circumstances, maybe there are mental health concerns. There's many reasons why folks end up in these situations. But one place we hope they all get to is back into a positive place in our community and in our society. And so from here, I want you to see the dream as the warden does, not of the building or the buildings behind that you see, but of what it represents and where we're going. The county's building 155 net new beds on Rose Street, or not new beds, sorry, new units on Rose Street. That all affordable housing units that will provide the opportunity for individuals to get out of this situation once they've bridged to that stability. We have Coral that's built 44 affordable units. There's a crane on site right now just finishing that out on Bayfield Street. There's 31 new units going over at Mapleview Community Church to also help in that supportive transitional nature. And Barrie City Council's approved $80 million, which so far we're on track for about 1,950 total rental units, of which about 473 will be affordable housing units. When you put all that together, the work that's being done here today, these folks are going to have somewhere to go to be part of our community and to be able to contribute to their own lives and opportunity going forward. And I can honestly say, and I know Mina's going to get a little bit angsty here, to say that there's not been friction in the system would be to lie. But I want you to think about what friction means, and I really do want you to think about what friction means. It means that we're actually doing something. We're moving it forward. It's going to be hard. This is the most difficult issue, I believe, that our Western democracies face. And it doesn't matter if you're in Australia, the UK, right across North America. This is the most important and difficult issue. There's going to be friction. But when there's friction, it means that we're moving, we're doing something, we're actually trying to push it forward. And that's what I've seen from the County of Simcoe, that's what I've seen from the federal government, that's what I've seen from the province. And so my hope is the hope of the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, that we will actually end homelessness together. So thank you to all who have contributed, and it's an honor to be part of it today.
Thank you, Your Worship, and there's nothing that you can say that makes me antsy. It's a little inside joke. Just before we wrap up, and we are planning, hopefully for everyone that's in attendance, to take a group picture together, and then we'll begin tours. And I think there's a Q&A as well with the media, either before or after tours, but the comms team will direct. I just want to do one last thing. I'd be remiss but not to thank everybody in the room who works on these issues. Both Tim and MP McKelvey and the mayor and the warden all shared the county can create buildings and spaces, and everyone's hit on this, but really it's the services behind the buildings and spaces that make the difference. And I'd like to thank all of our community advisory board members here from Busby, eFry, Empower Simcoe, Waypoint, and Barrie Cares as well, as they have been really the force, the community force behind the work that we do, raising money so that we can renovate this space and have a commercial kitchen. Our vision is in less than a few months we'll have people in groups of 40 eating meals here 3 times a day, literally where you're seated today. So hopefully in a few months we can come back and see that come to fruition, and other healthcare services and benefits coming here. And then of course, driving and getting the people here by convincing them and supporting them in their journey to arrive here and their journey from here to their final homes with keys in their hands.